I'm a high school dropout. I was in 6th grade twice, left back. I spent 3 years in high school, all freshmen. I think I was just that popular. They didn't want me to leave. I got to think something, because it doesn't get much worse than that, right? I mean, think about where I am today. I get to go to 4 reunions every time it comes around. Life is pretty good now. I have so many friends. I go to football games, and it's funny how everybody stays in their own little sections of, I went to school at this one, I went to school at that one, I went to school with all of them. Graduated with none. They don't even know today if I was in their graduating class. But you know what? It's kind of how my life has been. You know, I don't look at a failure or a slip as it's over. It's like, okay, this is as bad as it gets. Everything from this point on is good. So I built my foundation. I wanted to grow, and in doing so, I don't like to talk about being a high school dropout, because it's not that I'm ashamed of it, it's that I don't want people to think that it's cool to quit school. When you have a diploma and you have an education, you have perseverance, you have responsibility. When I'm looking to hire staff today and I see that they have a high school, college education, a degree, that shows that they have persevered and they have maintained and grown something. They're responsible. That's the person that I want to trust with my business and with my opportunities in the future. So it's very important to me, although I didn't get that diploma, that the people around me have it and they're prepared, because the area that I feel like I've always been very, very strong at is the use of common sense. And common sense has always helped me prevail, because so many of the complications we see out there today can be solved by using common sense. And in having that ability, I've watched the world go by. I watch the bus go by when I'm in school, and people are getting on the bus, they're going to New York, they're going to work, they're doing things, and everyone's making money. When I got money together to get on the bus, nobody asked me what my grades were. They said 35, 75 cents, whatever it might be. I thought, this is great. Money equaled freedom for me. So I thought, how can I make money? I gotta sell stuff. So the wheels started spinning. It was getting close to 4th of July. My father had a flower shop in New York, in the Bronx, Concourse Florist, and he would be able to get me fireworks. And they were illegal in New Jersey. So he says, look, they're illegal here, we can buy them here, and if you want to give them to your friends. I thought maybe I can just sell them for a few bucks more than I paid for them. Next thing you know, I've got a line of people, they're wanting fireworks, and it was kind of fun, but I realized this wasn't where I can continue to go. So I did it once, I got the feel, it was exciting. I didn't continue it because it wasn't legal, so I needed to watch the path I was going to go down here. No, I wasn't into drugs, I don't have a record, I haven't been arrested. I really love life, I love people, I love bringing deals and people together. And today, it's not much different. And as I continued on, I said to my dad, this was really exciting. I got that excitement of retailing. I love this. This is fun. People are happy. Everything's working for everyone. And then we thought, why, Dad, can't I sell flowers? Well, they're perishable. I don't know how to do anything with them. How about a plant? And he'd set up coleus plants. We'd bring them in, and he got me a spot at the hospital. And I would put them out there, and I had about 9 to 10 plants to start with, and we sold them all. Then 15 to 20. And next thing you know, 30. I'm hiring my buddy, he's over there, he's helping hand the plants. So there's 2 little kids, 11, 12 years old. We're selling plants on a street corner because people think that's cute. All right, that's great. I'm up to about 50 plants now. So this is really going well, but you know, now I'm getting a little older, and I did that for like 2 seasons of selling plants. Then the hospital started getting to the point where you have to have a permit, you have to get a, so we just said that was the end of that. It was a nice little run while it was. Getting ready for high school, I thought to myself, okay, now that I got out of 6th grade, I'm ready now for this high school thing. I need to make some money, so maybe I could work in a flower shop. My very first job in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey was with Bill O'Shea's florist. Nice guy, nice little corner store in the town, and I went over there and I'd clean the flowers, cut this, do that. I'd sit downstairs for hours, you know how long it can take to clean a rose when you don't want to clean a rose. You know, so 30 seconds, a minute a rose, whatever. Nobody bothered me though, they just left me there. So I was bored, they didn't care if I was there, I didn't want to be there. And after a while, I just didn't want to do this anymore. So I thought, you know, this wasn't really working out for me. And then I find out that I wasn't really working for a flower shop. I was being babysat. My father was subsidizing me by paying Bill to pay me. Great job. I feel great about myself now. I have this job that I have to be paid by my father through somebody else to keep me off the streets. So, yeah, that was a blow to my ego. Okay, so I now said, I need to get my own job. So I went over to the corner luncheonette where I got $2 an hour, but it was mine. Fine, $2. The minimum wage was like $2.90, but it was a cash deal. Went in at 5:30 in the morning till 7, got the papers ready, served the coffee, run the numbers for people on the lottery machine, and did my work, but I loved it. At the end of the day, it was mine. It was my $2. To this day, I don't count dollars. I count success, feeling good about what you do. The money will follow. You'll always get what you deserve. It's not about the dollars. It's about doing something that makes you feel fulfilled. And I was feeling alive. I was feeling good. I was making enough money to do some things I wanted to do, go on trips when I wanted to go on there. But, you know, it was fulfilling because it satisfied my needs outside of school where I was struggling because I was bored. I didn't understand why you had to go through so much process when I already had the answer. But the teacher's like, you failed. I said, how did I fail when I had the answer? Well, you didn't go through the process. I said, your process is too long. You don't need all that. That's the answer. You have to do it this way. I didn't want to do it that way. So back to common sense. Do we have to overcomplicate a simple process? Think about that in your own businesses today. How many times is the answer right in front of you? The customer has the answer. Ask them for it. So as that was going on, I got to about 14 years old, and I had a moped, and I wanted to better myself a little bit more. I was a big sports fan, so I got a job at Giant Stadium selling hot dogs, which means what? I get to see the game. So I couldn't get tickets because there were season ticket deals, so my dad wouldn't buy me tickets. So I got a job as a hot dog vendor, so I got to see the game, and I got to make $40 a game, which wasn't bad money back in those days, in the 70s. That was fun. I did that for a while. School was not going really well. And then I realized, gosh, you know, it's like 3 years now. I'm still sitting here. All my friends are going by. Nobody's taking me. I'm sitting here. I can't get credits. I got homerooms that change. And younger kids, people's younger brothers are coming up to me. And I need to go. I can't keep doing this. So I got my driver's license, and a new window of freedom opened up. And I thought to myself, this is great. My dad had a Ford Club Wagon. I don't know if anybody remembers those vans. And they had nice windows and seats and stuff. And so, because what was different was it wasn't the typical flower van with all the boxes to hold the arrangements. So there were seats in there. This new CD came out, Hooked on Swing. Kind of nice, you know, nice rhythm, jazz music playing. I'm driving, I'm excited, I'm feeling good. And I kept going down the boulevard, which we do, you know, a small town, you go back and forth so people know you have a car. And I thought to myself, look at all these people waiting for that bus that's 20 minutes away. It's cold, snowy, rainy. I got this nice truck with this great feeling going on inside. What if I gave them a ride to the city? It's like $1.40 to take a bus into the city. I'm going to charge $5, and I'll take them right in. I went to the stand there, and I said, anybody want to ride for the city? And all of a sudden, I said, $5. I'm in. 6 people, just to the Port Authority, 30 minutes, $30. Wow, I never made money so fast with such ease. So I went back in the city, got another group of 6 and brought them in there. I got $60 in my pocket. By 9 o'clock, I'm going to school. Not bad. So now I'm thinking like I just hit the lottery, and this is working really great, and then my father catches wind of it. Typical New Jersey Italian, little bit of a temper. Being nice about it. So I got a quick left hook from him. What in the world are you thinking? How? And I'm like, Dad, I'm making money. I'm just dropping people. And then I learned all about liability. I learned all about what if I had an accident. Of course, I didn't. I won't, I promise. I'll wear my seatbelt. So I learned about liability. That was it. So we realized that wasn't going to go anywhere. So my dad sold his store after 35 years in the flower industry. That's where I got this from. It's in my blood. He said, I'll get a job somewhere. I'll work part-time. Maybe you can come over and I'll teach you the business. He goes, learn a trade. You'll never be hungry. This industry has been very good to me. It's been good to my family. And I followed his lead. He taught me, he always reminded me, when you're in business, he said, make a little, sell a lot. You know, treat people the way you want to be treated, no matter what you did. And I took that advice. I worked in the shop. I started learning the industry. I made deliveries. Back in '78, when I had that big blizzard, my father and I were the only two that showed up at work, and I made deliveries in that blizzard. I was determined. So I learned it, but I wasn't really making it on $125 to $140 a week. I saw ads for courier services, independent contractors, $700 a week. Wow. Now we're talking. It's all legal. I got all my stuff right. I'm going to get a van. There's my payment. There's my income. It's whatever I want to work. So I was ready to work. So I started delivering in the city. I went all over. Was doing really well. My parents had a dream of building a home in Florida. They found a place they wanted to go to, but they were uncomfortable with us being separated. I did a lot of soul searching. You got one mom and dad. If we can be together, I don't know how long they're going to be around. I'm very thankful today I made the decision. I lost my mom in 2001, but I had a lot of quality time with them. And I went to Florida, and I landed a job with the bus company, SCAT. Should have called a taxi. No, Sarasota County Area Transit. And I was a bus driver. I thought I got a pension. I got my first home, my mortgage for $641, which was just amazing. I couldn't be happier. Once again, I'm happy with whatever I was able to achieve. So I was doing that, and we thought, well, I got 4 days on, 3 days off. We thought maybe we'd open up a little flower shop. So we found this opening on Beneva Road, and we thought, Beneva Flowers. Great, here we are. Beneva Flowers opens up, and my parents are working it. I was driving a bus. 2 days out of the 3 off, I would work in the flower shop. And as time was going, they were getting busier and busier, and they needed more and more of me. So I had to resign from the bus company. And I go to the shop. I said, Dad, I can't come over yet. What do you mean? We're busy. We're behind. I have to sell hot dogs. He says, you have to sell hot dogs? I said, yeah. I said, there's nothing on Main Street for $5 for lunch. Everything's $8, $10, $12. What about the working guy? We need to have hot. Why is that your problem? He said. I said, because people have to eat. So I said to him, we have to do something about this because it's an opportunity. And I always loved Sabrett hot dogs. Nobody knows what they are. What if I start going into this whole thing. I found out about commissaries. I got my permits. Next thing you know, I popped the umbrella up. That was the birth of Weenies on Wheels. Had my Yankee hat on, Mets shirts, New York scene. I mean, everyone was coming around talking sports, and I was having a great time. And I got a Dogaholic discount card. So if you bought 8 hot dogs, you're a Dogaholic, and you got one free. And of course, I had the special punch made with a puppy dog face, because you know everyone's going to try to get those punches, but they had to have the puppy dog face. So the hot dog stand was going really well. And everything was wonderful, and I was needing to help my parents more, and so I eventually sold the stand, $5,000. It's what I paid for it. It was doing about $30,000 a year in sales, $35,000. Not bad for 4 or 5 hours a day. Guy comes down from Connecticut, yo, dude, what's up? I want a hot dog stand, and he's missing a leg. Okay, tattoos, ponytail, that's fine. I mean, it is what it is, but I just said, understand, it's not just a hot dog stand. You got to be gourmet. It's Sarasota. People are very particular. I got to meet judges, lawyers, accountants, all kinds of people being down there because it was fun. I was enjoying people. And I said to him, be clean, keep it nice. You have to be very presentable. They want and expect gourmet, even though you're selling hot dogs. So he will continue to have his ponytail, his tattoos showing. He's on a bench, no leg. I'd come down and see him. Where's your leg? He's in the car. Will you please put your leg on? Seriously. Are you hustling for money or are you selling hot dogs? You want people to feel sorry for you? It's not very clean. It's not, I mean, put your leg in. All right. Puts his leg in, and things are just not working out right. So he's going on, and as time went on, he was selling 35 dogs a day. I was doing about 125. He says, this just isn't what I expected it to be. So I said, I'm sorry. I said, but, I sold hot dogs. You want to sell meatballs? You want to do all this other stuff, and you need to clean up. Well, eventually, as time went on, he moved to Bradenton, and that was it. People said, my gosh, you have a great business here. This is amazing. I sold it. And people said, yeah, we heard. And we come down and we see him. And every time we see him, he says, yeah, he bought the business. And we said, was it expensive? He said, I paid an arm and a leg for it, I'll tell you that right now. I said, let me just tell you something. At $5,000, if you paid an arm and a leg for that, you still owe me. Thank you.